Welcome back to the Guardians of the Palaxy podcast, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is MT, and I'm here today with two of my amazing friends, Whitney Van Laningham and Brett Turley. What's going on, gang?
Hi, hello. What's going on in my world, you ask? Look no further than directly behind me. We just redid our wall, and it's so cool. Look at it. Look at it.
I love it. Ooh, nice and fancy.
Ooh,
So we fled the fires, and Whitney was like, let's grab every poster from our house. And now we had to put every poster back up. So there you go.
Honestly, good grab. Good grab.
I just want to say I was locked in during the evacuations. I am not joking. When we evacuated, I grabbed everything of importance in our house. I fucking did it. I fucking made sure that all of the things that like were replaceable stayed, and everything that wasn't came right in the car with me, baby. They were all in the back seat.
Damn.
I don't know how I did it, but I've never locked in that hard. That was the most locked in I've ever been.
I mean, you have to at that point, because like...
You gotta be. It turns out that in an emergency, I know exactly what to grab. And that, at the very least, that's great. Speaking of the LA fires, they've been really fucking bad. And I am so grateful that Tommy and MT were among the people that checked in on me, Brett, and Alexa, because we live in California. We have been dealing with this. It has been very scary. I am so grateful that we didn't lose our homes. However, this is why we haven't done a Palaxy in a while. And also, if you guys go to guardiansofthepalaxy.store for the rest of January, we are going to be donating any proceeds that we get from merch sales to the Los Angeles Fire Brigade. We will definitely update you on which charity we choose. There's a lot that have been overwhelmed with donations, so we're gonna figure out which one is the best. We will keep you updated on that. Go get some merch. Help some folks in LA, because it's been real scary.
So this episode is going to be centered all around season 1 of James Gunn's Creature Commandos, a show that I've been looking forward to for so long. And after watching it, the hype was well deserved. Like, I genuinely enjoyed this show. I'm a big fan of adult animation. I need more of it in my superhero universes, because like the fact that like this is the first DCU project is huge to me, because like Marvel would never do that. Have an animated show be like essentially the Iron Man one of their universe is just like, that's wild. That's wild to me.
In a lot of ways, X-Men, the original X-Men cartoon was.
You know what? That's true.
Holy shit, I've never heard your voice get that high. What the fuck? Oh my God. That was incredible. You know, that's true. Oh boy, Minnie. That's so true.
Oh my, my science teacher in high school used to make fun of me so much, because like whenever I like was like explaining something, like my voice would get like super high sometimes, be like, oh my God, like I don't know, it's terrible.
I love it.
I never went through puberty. Creature Commandos. This show, they felt like a mini Suicide Squad, and I love all things Suicide Squad. It's like one of my favorite parts of, well, it's the best part of like the DCEU, like in general, to me anyway. But we met some really interesting characters. We had the bride, who was like a badass freaking Lady Frankenstein, the wife of Frankenstein. Nina Mazursky, my personal favorite. I love her to death.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe not to death. Well, yeah, all the way to her death, sadly.
We'll get to that. I
was devastated. James Gunn, why?
Devastated.
Why?
Spoilers, we were devastated.
Why would you kill off my sexy fish? Yeah, I'm so upset at the death of Nina Mazursky. She was my favorite. She was a sweet being that didn't deserve all the bullying. Then we also have Weasel, who is a surprisingly sympathetic character.
Obsessed with Weasel. Unsurprisingly obsessed with Weasel. Brett this morning was like asking me, he was like, so who's your favorite character? And I started opening my mouth, and he goes, besides Weasel, we all know that Whitney Van Laningham sympathizes with the animals. We get it. Besides Weasel. And I was like, but it's just Weasel. I love him. He's a pug. He's just a baby and he wants to play and he's a good boy. He's the only good boy in the whole series. No, besides Nina. Nina and Weasel were the only two good babies.
I love when she was like being nice to Weasel. I'm like, oh my, she was just so kind to everybody. I love her. Oh, freaking G.I. Robot.
G.I. Robot ruled, man. He was one of my favorites.
The freaking GOAT. G.I. Robot 2025. I loved him so much. Played by Sean Gunn. So good in everything that he does in James Gunn projects. He's just a guy who just wanted friends and a family, and I love that.
I love that James Gunn always makes Sean Gunn the weird little guy in any project. I genuinely love that so much. If my sibling was interested in being on camera, which they are not, I would absolutely make Elliot be the weird little guy in everything because I love that so much. What a directive choice.
The fact that like Sean Gunn plays 2 of the Creature Commandos is hilarious. And I also find it hilarious that like after G.I. Robot like died, freaking Weasel just goes and avenges him like yeah. It's like, you killed like my other character. How dare you?
You killed my other character, you son of a bitch. Die.
We also have Dr. Phosphorus, a Batman villain, Mr. Glowstick himself, who's very funny, played by Alan Tudyk, so talented. Clayface in the Harley Quinn show. It's just been a great cast of characters that we were following this season.
We also got David Harbour as Eric Frankenstein.
Right. Oh my God, dude.
Great.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with David Harbour in everything he does. I think that he is a very good actor and he makes me laugh constantly. His delivery is fucking hilarious. I loved him so much as Frankenstein. I was genuinely surprised with like where they took that character because in the episode where he moves in with like the old lady in the woods, like, that's a common thing in Frankenstein. It's in Mary B. Shelley's book, and it's also in Young Frankenstein. And I was expecting, like, a similar trope from, like, all of the other Frankenstein movies I've ever seen. I never thought that I would see the Frankenstein in a cabin alone with the guy in the woods. And then he just murders her and steals her dog. I was so, I did not see that coming at all. And it was great. It was great.
The ultimate disrespect.
He did the most monstrous thing possible. Like he's a monster. So that's why he did that. That's what he did. I thought that was such a great interpretation by James Gunn. It made me sad as fuck. So imagine if some asshole came into my house, shot me and took Pugsley. Fuck that guy. Absolutely not. I did love it from like a storytelling perspective. I thought that was really unique way to treat Frankenstein's monster.
And I loved how he was used to like sort of illustrate, you know, what a toxic relationship is. And like, you know, the problem with a lot of relationships these days that are just like very superficial. And they're like, hey, like I want you for your body, but not who you are on the inside. Because like Eric Frankenstein did not give a damn about what his bride wanted. He was just like, you are my object. You were made for me. So therefore, like you cannot go anywhere but to be with me.
Yeah, very entitled.
Yeah.
Frankenstein and the Bride storyline was exactly the storyline between Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel in 500 Days of Summer.
Oh,
it was just 500 Days of Frankenstein, baby.
How would you guys feel if Frankenstein joined the Creature Commandos? Like, do you feel like he fits on that team, or do you like where he's at, like as like a rogue element?
So Brett and I talked about this earlier, just real quick. We both think that he probably survived because, like, I don't know if a gun can kill a guy who's already dead and reanimated.
No one thought to use a gun on Frankenstein before?
Yeah, in the past, no one's ever thought to do that. Like, no, of course they would have. He can't die with a mere gun.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the post-credit scene.
There was a post-credit scene? No, we didn't see a post-credit scene.
Oh, no, like, the post-credit scene is like, he just finds another old lady and she nurses him back to health.
Okay, good,
and, like, the implication is that he's going to kill her, too.
Can we just say really fucking quick, I hate that HBO Max does that stupid thing where once the credits start rolling, it either turns it off or changes the next episode. Bitch, I didn't even know that there was a post-credit scene because of that. Fuck you. Stop it.
I know, it's so annoying. Like, the only reason I knew was that at the beginning of the episode, when they do the intro and they show James Gunn, like, he's always typing, like, a piece of the show in his little computer.
Yeah.
And so, like, in that little frame, like, he's typing the post-credit scene. I was like, there's a post-credit scene? And then I went to the back. I was like...
That's so cool. I didn't even notice that he was typing that.
Oh,
That's
man.
great.
I love
that
detail.
It's sort of hard to think whether Frankenstein's going to be a part of the team in the future or not, because I do think he's the most entertaining character on the show. He's also the worst. He is absolutely
he's the worst
biggest
and the best at the same time.
Yeah, he's so
like
like
sucks,
when he's
but
like
I love him.
When he's explaining rom-coms, that's the funniest scene in the whole show.
Oh yeah, when he's like, "Have you seen When Harry Met Sally?" It's so fucking funny. It's so goddamn good. I love that character so much, even though he's like, kind of a weirdo.
He's like Drax but evil. He's like an evil Drax. That's kind of the vibe. Right. And I think that's just a fun character, and I want to see more of that character. So I kind of want him on the team.
I mean, he does lead the team in the comics in some iterations, which is super weird.
Interesting.
Maybe they'll do a thing where the bride goes rogue, and then he gets the team, and then she's against her old team.
That
might be interesting. That could be fun.
That would be really wild. I wonder if like they would ever be on the same team, those two. If they'd ever settle like on being friends and be like, all right, let's just,
There's no way that you can reconcile those two characters.
She shot him and he's in love with her. No.
That's true.
Zoe and Joseph Gordon didn't get back together at the end of 500 Days of Sum Sum. I'm not hoping for that. Sorry, I spoiled a twee movie from the 2010s.
But yeah, like the whole season of Creature Commandos has to deal with Pokolistan and the Princess of Pokolistan, Alana, played by Maria Bakalova, who played Cosmo in the Guardians films. She is psycho. She wants to watch the world burn for some reason.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And, Cersei, of the Amazons, Wonder Woman's former homie or adversary rather, she's trying to save the world in her own way by hiring a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, a bunch of incels. Yeah.
A bunch of incels called the Sons of Themyscira. And they try to take over the country, but the Creature Commandos come in, specifically G.I. Robot, I guess, and he eliminates the problem. The only person they had to send was G.I. Robot, let's be real.
And Weasel.
The thing that made me the most sad, the part I know, and again, I know that this was not the saddest part in the show. I'm sorry that I just love animals so much because the bride killed the princess. They're probably not going to build the statue in Weasel's honor. And I'm so sad that he won't get his statue. He was such a good boy. He was so proud. And everyone was proud of him. And for the first time in his life, everyone was like, good boy, Weasel, good boy. And now he doesn't even get a fucking statue. Fuck that shit. I will build the statue. I will build the fucking Weasel statue. Fuck the HOA. I'm putting it right in my goddamn front yard. He's a good boy and a sweet bean.
It does make me a little bit upset that he got Nina killed. That's the only thing about Weasel
I know
that I'm angry about.
I really want to talk about that scene.
Absolutely sucks.
That scene is so heartbreaking for so many reasons, right? And the tension that they're building up throughout it, where like Nina is the one character who doesn't kill. She's the morally pure one. She's the only one that's not a monster, to be like, oh, she's going to kill this princess who we don't know is evil or not. At that point, we were led to believe that it was all a misunderstanding, and just seeing that like all of this political tension is going to be on her hands is just so horrifying in that buildup. And then the twist where she gets killed, it's like, I don't know which fate would have been worse for her, honestly. I think like, honestly, her dying is probably what she would have preferred, because I think the guilt,
in a way,
Jeez, man, the guilt of living with that.
At the end, she is this megalomaniac person, apparently, allegedly, that will cause World War III. I just, the gray shades are really, really interesting there.
It's like, I do wonder what geopolitical fallout comes from the assassination of a world leader from an American operative like the bride. Because like, there has to be some type of consequence there. Because like the Pokolistan knows who did it. Like, it's America who did it. So like, I wonder if that's going to factor into like the overall DCU, and like if there's going to like be like talks of like a world war or something or whatever.
Yeah, just like Cold War tensions at the very least. Just like,
right.
I will counter that and say that the bride is not an American. I don't believe that you're still an American after death. I think that she's of the netherworld and she's been reanimated.
I thought you were going to say she wasn't born in America, and that's true.
That's also true.
She's not American.
But like, she's an operative. I don't care. She's not of this world, baby. You can't blame geopolitical conflict on her. She's from hell.
I mean, that they could use, like, a lawyer could use that excuse.
I'm just lawyering over here for the bride. I think that she's great. She shot the incel stalking her who couldn't let go, and I think that that was so satisfying as a woman to just see her be like, no, absolutely, fuck you. That's the sound that a gun makes, by the way.
Over like several decades, just like watching her like kick like Frankenstein's ass is just so great.
They did give her own team, so I guess it's fine. They're like, oh, yeah. Like you have your own Suicide Squad now. You have your own Creature Commandos now.
Even though you went rogue.
You got a promotion.
Every squad of Amanda Waller's is a Suicide Squad. Every squad of hers. There's no such thing as a non-Suicide Squad for Amanda Waller. Creature Commandos is just Suicide Squad with different guys.
Pretty much.
Or some of the same guys. Weasels in both.
The goats in both. We see King Shark at the end, which is like, I was wondering where this mother freaker was. Why is he not on the team? Like, he's a creature. Like, he was like, sort of like left in play after the
we had to wait for Nina to die so that they could replace their aquatic character.
Why didn't they just get him in the first place?
Oh man, Nina was such a good character. Oh,
she was just so nice, and I wanted her to be my fish girlfriend. Years ago, when I watched The Shape of Water with my ex, I was like, why is she sleeping with a fish? I don't understand. Like, why would you have relations with a fish? Now I understand.
Now I get it.
Now I get it. James Gunn spelled it out for me. All right. Sometimes there are some situations where you bang the fish, and this is one of those situations.
Yeah, no. Welcome to Monster Fuckers United, MT. We're happy to have you.
As devastating as that death was, I'm glad that it was in it because, like, it shows that the DCU will have stakes. In a lot of superhero content and movies, it's like, all right, the hero is going to survive this. Like, it's going to be fine because, like, this is a movie about the heroes. It does make me feel, like, a little bit more excited about the DCU knowing that, like, people can die. And, like, obviously this is, like, a Suicide Squad type project. So, like, I guess that's in the name. But, like, I don't know. It's cool that, like, we could lose characters at any time in a way because, like, it makes the universe feel living and real.
Absolutely. And like you were saying earlier, I think that that's what makes this such an interesting, like, fresh out the gate project for James Gunn. Like, having this be the intro and being like, buckle up, bitches, get ready for the rest of the DCU. I think that that's fucking awesome. I think it takes a lot of balls to do that. I'm really glad that, like, DC let him cook because this show ruled. It was really great. As much as I felt sad, I also laughed a lot. I also felt a lot of like, oh, I love this person, like, feelings. So it was a very James Gunn show where it was a very multidimensional. You felt a lot of different feelings throughout. And people can actually die, and that's crazy. Like, that's so nuts. What we're used to with the MCU when we were expecting Ant-Man to die and then he didn't, and it was like, oh, come on. Like, not that I want Paul Rudd to die. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I love Paul Rudd, but do that. Kill Ant-Man. That's great motivation for every character in the universe.
It really should have been the death of Ant-Man in that movie, but I will die on that hill.
I do agree because like there is like a storyline in the Young Avengers where like Cassie deals with the death of her father, and like it would be very like timely to the coming of the Young Avengers / Champions or whatever they're going to be called.
Exactly.
It's a perfect lead into the Young Avengers.
That's why I thought that they were going to do it. That's literally like before that movie came out, I was 100% convinced that was how they were going to do that. And I was very hyped for it. And I was like, man, I can't believe that we're actually going to see like the death of a character. And because Jeff Loveness was behind it and he has Rick and Morty chops, I was like, oh, that's a violent as fuck show where people die all the time. This is going to be great. And then it wasn't the best Ant-Man I've ever seen.
Everyone survived.
Everyone survived.
Except for MODOK.
Yeah, R.I.P. MODOK.
How do you feel that this like set up the world of the DC universe? Do you like the tone?
I think that the tone is perfect. I think that James Gunn like already setting up a universe where like we're not like starting from the beginning and like seeing like origins pop up. We already have like all these supervillains, all these superheroes like active and doing their thing. And like, I think that that's the way to go in 2025 where like everyone knows a lot of the origin stories of these characters. James Gunn specifically said that like we won't see an origin story for Batman when he gets to it, which is like super great. It's also very cool that we saw like a little tease for Batman and like his physique. He's going to be a chunky, like strong boy.
Hell yeah.
Like he should be. So that's going to be exciting. I wonder who they're going to cast for that. I love how James Gunn specifically made like the silhouette of Batman and like he didn't like definitively make a costume yet because like he's still like working on it. And like, it's almost like A New Hope. Like we're just like shoved into a middle of like ongoing story. And like, we don't know what the universe is going to be like. We're going to see this new universe through the eyes of Superman when it comes out. Cause like, I feel like that's a perfect transition because like Superman's like.
Yeah, we wanted to hear your thoughts about Superman because we didn't get to ask you when the trailer first came out. So like, we got to know how you feel about Superman. I'm excited about it.
I am freaking excited. This is going to be, I'm going to get my nerd card revoked. So I'm sorry in advance. I've never seen the original Superman movies, like to this day.
The Christopher interesting.
I haven't seen the Christopher Reeves one either.
Like,
you haven't seen the Christopher Reeves one?
No,
okay, I won't yell at you, MT, but I will yell at my husband over that.
I'm excited for them to come out so we have an excuse to watch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like bits and pieces. My first Superman was Smallville. Ironic.
Oh, awesome.
And so like he was on that show for a little bit and like through that I sort of like, got some idea of like what his movies were like. But watching this trailer, it really made me want to watch those movies because like, you can tell that like there's like a lot of love and appreciation for those like the original movies, but like that James Gunn also wants to do his own thing. And like I love that James Gunn is incorporating the Terrifics. Like he's basically like this whole trailer teases the Terrifics. And like, I don't know if you don't know the Terrifics, right?
I don't know who that is, but it sounds like the Fantastics.
Like literally, like it's DC's parody of the Fantastic Four. And so they have Plastic Man, who's like their Mr. Fantastic. They have Metamorpho, who's their Thing. Mr. Terrific, who the team is named after.
The thing's named after, yeah.
I love Mr. Terrific so much. He's a fucking badass. And so like this whole movie is like basically teasing that team. And that team is so much fun. And so like there's a huge chance that we'll see Plastic Man very soon in the DCU, which is very exciting. I do like what they're doing with Lex Luthor a lot. In this trailer, at least, it seems like Lex Luthor wants to be a mix of like Tony Stark and Batman. Like it seems like he wants to be like that, like a James Bond, like I'm the hero and like we don't need any other heroes because I'm cool. And like, I'm going to save the world because I'm Mr. Fancy Rich Man. Whereas then Superman comes down. It's like, oh, well, that's not fair. Like I'm doing this with my manpower and my riches. And you have all this superpower ability. Oh, so cool. And so like, I like that they're making him like this pretentious, like this douchey millionaire that wants to seem cool in front of everybody. We don't have any of that in real life, right?
We don't have any of that stuff in real life. This is such a great fictional character that is in no way based in reality whatsoever. No. I think of no one and nothing. I just see Lex. All James I see Gunn is
never
Lex,
puts
baby.
Politics in his work.
Never, ever.
For any reason. No,
the Sons of Themyscira were not based on anybody in real life whatsoever. But no, I freaking love Krypto. Obviously, like everyone knew, Krypto the super dog was going to be in it, but like seeing the way that like they designed Krypto and like just making him like a little cute little furry boy, it's just like I love it.
We have Krypto and Cosmo, so we're just doing great. No matter which franchise we go to, I'm just so excited that it's dog time, baby. We got the best dogs. We got some good boys. We're in our good boy era of the DCU and the MCU. I love it.
Dogs? How about a weasel?
How about a weasel? Who's kind of like a dog.
Weasel's design in Creature Commandos looks so much better than he does in real life because like in live action, like get that thing away from me. Absolutely not.
I gotta love that too.
Weasel is gross in Suicide Squad.
Like, I'm sorry. He's just like this gross thing.
If I saw that shit down, like if I was walking down the street and I saw a weasel like at midnight, I'd be like, yeah, I'm shitting my pants right now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Shitting my pants parents running in the opposite direction. Like, oh my God, absolutely not. No.
But no, all in all, like the Superman trailer, I thought that like it had the correct tone for what a Superman movie should be. I loved Man of Steel a lot. Man of Steel is one of my like favorite DCEU projects. But the hope aspect of Superman was not as strong as I felt that it was in this trailer. Like you could tell that this story is going to be a tale about a man inspiring the entire city of Metropolis to be, you know, better people and to, you know, into hope for better days. And like it just feels like one of those movies that like you watch it and you walk out the theater like anything is possible. Like I feel good about like my fellow man and like, you know, like what's possible in the world. Like, I don't know. It's going to be a feel good movie about, you know, about love and about fathers. It's going to be so sad when his dad inevitably dies. Like, you know, that's going to happen. That's probably why I was crying at the beginning of the trailer.
I think the story will start with Pa Kent dead.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because he was in the trailer.
I think James Gunn said that he doesn't want to do origin stories for Superman either. So this is supposedly year 2 is what one of our commenters said.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get kind of like, hey, my dad used to say, "Be a good boy," kind of thing.
We get little flashbacks.
He said, "With great power comes great responsibility."
It was trying really hard not to Uncle Bennett. Yeah,
you got I Uncle landed Bennett, on
be
baby.
A good boy.
Be a good boy. Just be
Before
a good
I went to
boy.
Metropolis, he told me to be a good boy. He patted me on the head and kicked me
be
out.
A good boy. So now, Krypto, I pass that down to you, my son. Be a good boy.
Be a good boy for your grandpa.
Love that Superman is a childless dog lady in the DCU.
I'm very curious to see, you know, how Amanda Waller and like that crew like of like American government people are incorporated into the story. Cause like I feel like Amanda Waller is like the shield of this universe, like that whole deal.
Well, so like the end of this, right? There's the sort of the undertone is like, oh, there's going to be political tension now, right?
Right.
And like they don't address it, but like, yeah, the bride just murdered a world leader.
Yeah, you can't do that.
There's also some political tension undertones in the Superman trailer. There has to be like a bigger global plot being strung together.
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah.
I think it's definitely not going to be this movie where it comes to a climax, but they're dealing with that.
Yeah, they're getting in on that. They're getting in on that World War III.
Yeah. Well, it's hot.
Seriously.
It's hot in the world. World War III.
Well, so that's a good question, though, is just because World War III was prevented from the hands of this woman, is it going to be prevented at all? Is she going to be resurrected in the Lazarus pits or through some other means?
We killed baby Hitler, but at what cost to the future?
Baby Hitler by killing him. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
So like, is that what the whole story is going to lead into? Is like an internal conflict within the state of our world that Superman has to decide, hey, am I like getting involved with this? Because that's like a thing that Superman does from time to time where he's like, I don't know if I should be getting involved with human affairs. And other times he's like, I have to lead by example and I have to prevent you guys from killing each other. So I think that might be sort of not Avengers Endgame, but Endgame for this plot.
Less Avengers Endgame, more Taylor Swift Endgame.
Yeah.
I do wonder if they're setting up like a overall global conflict, and that'd be like freaking wild to see, like, you know, to see if like other countries have superheroes that like represent them like in their own way.
And then like the story isn't about like, it's called Gods and Monsters, and is man the monster. That's why Frankenstein's so heavily featured in this, right?
Yeah.
It's not, we're worried about Darkseid, these aliens coming to our world, destroying our world. The threat isn't extraterrestrial, it's ourselves, and we need to take a look inward as humans and what it means to be neighbors and citizens of the same planet.
That's what this entire series was about. It's like how humans were more monsters than the actual monsters were in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
The cops that shot at Weasel and like, or that old man that caused the fire in the school, all the humans were the bad guys.
Nina and Weasel didn't deserve any of it. They were being sweet babies and everyone else sucked. Humans sucked.
Like the cops that shot Nina's dad, I was so fucking pissed.
Super uncalled for. Like incredible use of force. This is a weedy scientist.
He didn't have a weapon. He's a scientist. He didn't even have like a weapon. It wasn't like he was pointing a fucking gun into the crowd.
Just like leave the fish lady alone. Leave the fish lady alone. Honey, I missed you. And they're like, no, fuck this guy.
And they're like, fuck this piece of shit. God, cops are trigger happy. Even in the movies.
Even in cartoons.
Even in cartoons.
Overall, like, this series really made me wanting more adult animation from DC, like, in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just, like, a very convenient medium for special effects and, like, for, like, you know, people with superpowers to really shine and to, like, there's no, like, we have to spend millions of dollars and, like, overwork our VFX department. It's just like, hey, we want to tell a story that, like, you know, serves its own purpose, and it just makes sense. So I just want more.
I will butt into pay animators better.
Yes,
you fucks.
Pay them too.
Animators better. Make sure all of them are paid and fed and treated like the angels they are, because we love animators here in the Palaxy.
They did a fantastic job.
I agree.
On this show.
I think animation is the medium for superheroes. I've always felt that, and like, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, pals. I don't know if I've said this on camera or not.
You've said it to me like 8 times in the past week, so maybe
I say it a lot.
You do,
but it always gets under my skin when people are like, "Oh, this was great in animation. Can't wait to see it in live action." It's like, it's better in animation.
You can't do the same things in live action,
especially with superheroes, and you're doing like these flashy action scenes. You can get so much more out of human creativity than having to actually manipulate the real world. But the problem is, like, live action movies, like, while they can have like really cool shots and stuff like that, like Spielberg movies, no one really puts the time in to actually like come through with like very interesting looking movies. All of these superhero movies are made on an assembly line, and it's just come on, let's do an animation. Let's put some cool shots together. I'm a huge animation fan for superheroes. Also, I think DC does animation really, really well.
They do, man. They're great at it.
My first foray into the DC animated universe was like their amazing Flashpoint movie, which, like, to this day is like my favorite iteration of the Flashpoint story, because I just feel like they just did a really good job with that animated movie.
Oh shit, I haven't seen that, but thanks for the rec.
I
watched
that.
It's so good.
It is phenomenal. It is like what the Flash movie should have been.
Oh shit, well, I guess I know what I'm doing later today. Is there an animation that's better of him saving all the babies as they fall out of the window? Because that would have been better in animation, motherfucker. It would have been.
Believe it or not, that's original for the live action.
Believe it, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Marvel, what if?
They just did that for Ezra.
Well,
Ezra was like,
throw
real babies out. They were like, no. We have to digitally make them really weird. It's just a really fantastic movie. Highly recommend it. Also, there's another Arkham one that was really good. I forget what it was.
I really like their Red Hood one.
Yes.
Suicide Squad Held to Pay. Held to Pay is fucking dope. If you haven't seen that one,
I don't know
really
if I've seen that.
The premise is there's a get out of hell free card, and Amanda Waller sends the Suicide Squad to retrieve it. But then all of the Suicide Squad members are like, oh, I can redeem myself and go to heaven with this card. So then it just ends with the Suicide Squad killing each other as they're trying to capture the card. It's
killing each other
great.
To get to heaven. Hell yeah.
That is such an interesting premise. I kind of wish that, like, I've seen that, first of all, and that, like, the DCU sort of, like, does that in their own way, because, like, I like that premise a lot.
No, it's such a fresh idea. It's a really good one. I highly recommend Hell to Pay.
Yeah, I just want more, like, DCU animation, more MCU animation, just more animation in general as, like, as core parts of a cinematic universe. Because, like, you know, we have What If, but, like, those are, like, you know, Elseworld stories, and, like, that's cool in their own way. But, like, I want canonical stuff. Like, for example, Miss Marvel should have her own freaking TV show, animated TV show already. Like, what are we doing, Marvel?
Dude, seriously.
That's the best part of that show. The little
really
animated interstitial stuff that she does. So good.
And I love that show. It's, God, I want more Ms. Marvel so bad. I want more She-Hulk so bad. There are so many shows that came out where I'm just like, fuck fuck, I need more of that.
She-Hulk would actually be a great one to do animated.
In animation.
You don't have to deal with actually like doing CG for Hulk.
Maybe the fuckboys wouldn't be as mad about her twerking if it was animated. If they were watching that butt bounce in animation, maybe
it would
they'd
probably
be a little
as
less
well
angry.
Received as the Harley Quinn animated series, which is not very well.
I love the Harley Quinn animated series.
The first 2 seasons of it are really good.
The Valentine's Day special is horny as hell. You can't watch that without getting all horned up.
Do you know who was also horned up? Rick Flag Sr., who we have not yet talked about.
Whoa. Okay, first of all, does anybody else think that was just a self-insert for James Gunn? Because they looked identical, dude. They looked like twins.
I've seen that theory online. And it's very funny. Because they're like,
hey, saw it from me because I've been saying it. Just kidding.
Yeah, she's been saying nonstop.
I've been saying it nonstop. I'm just like, I am watching James Gunn fuck someone right now. Like, it's insane. Like the fact that he made that character look so much like him. It's perfect.
Oh man!
I mean, I know he didn't draw it himself, but I believe that he signed off on it being drawn to look exactly like him, and he's sexy as hell,
bro. If you want to actually see media of James Gunn doing the deed, he actually wrote a book called The Toy Collector, which is like, he wrote this like a long time ago, and it is like one of the most like, it's very inappropriate. It's for adults, but like it's a fictional version of his life, and like it's wild. It's hilarious, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's wholesome, but like it's a fantastic book.
It's wholesome, but he fucks.
It's a wholesome, but he fucks. I love
it's wholesome,
so
but
much.
It's also filling.
Yeah. Fulfilling and filling. But it's
focus on the donut and the hole. Am I right, David Lynch?
But yeah, overall, this series, like, what would you guys rate it if you guys had to give it a number?
I'd say like an 8.89. I think it was an almost perfect show. Actually, no, I'm just going to go 9 because fuck that. No, it was a really good show. I loved this show. I didn't dislike any of it. During the scene where Nina died, I did have to walk away from the screen and I listened to it, but I could not watch her get stabbed. I was so upset. But that's the marker of a good show. If it makes you feel that viscerally when you're watching a scene that you have to like get up, or that you actually cry, or that you're laughing so hard your face hurts. Like, that's the marker of a good show. So I really loved it. It made me laugh, cry, and get really sad and pace around my living room instead of making direct eye contact with what was happening.
I think it's a 7 for me, which isn't bad.
Okay.
I'm not saying I think it's an adequate show. I think that last episode is my favorite for the reasons Whitney mentioned, where it like actually makes you feel stuff. And like the tension of all these characters coming together that you don't want to actually have conflict, being forced into conflict. I love it when stories do that. Yeah, I just want more. It kind of was not enough to fill my appetite. But we also watched it in 2 sessions, kind of. We watched it like a month apart in half.
Right.
I want more.
Same.
More.
I would give it an 8 myself, like right in between you guys. Because I thought it was fantastic. I thought, like, again, like I also want more, and I kind of wish the season was a little bit longer.
Me too.
Because it felt very short. For what it was, I thought it was a really great intro to the DCU. I'm excited to see like all those characters that we saw dead in that vision. Starfire. When I saw Starfire, I was like, yes, Starfire confirmed. Thank you, God. We're gonna get a live action Starfire. I love her so much. I don't know. I just feel like this is a really great start to a universe that feels very unique. It feels like, James Gunn's doing his own thing separate from Marvel. Like, we're not getting like this whole like cosmic narrative. It's just like it's just about people and like dealing with like metahumans, and like it just feels like different stories that we're seeing of different people's lives. And like that's, I don't know, it's very unique. And I feel like the DCU's in good hands. Like this is the first time in a long time that I've been excited for like the future of DC movies. Superman's going to be great. Supergirl's going to be great. I just want James Gunn to announce the next animated project already, because I want to see how that's going to go.
We're coming in guns glazing.
Guns
glazing. It's happening, man. More like James Fun, am I right?
Hey.
We're going to have a nice time watching his shows and movies.
For real though. Like I'll be guns glazing all day, because that's my boy.
I think we should make t-shirts that say guns glazing.
Guns glazing.
We really should. And it's just a picture of MT.
Podcast.
Yosemite Sam MT.
I also wanna just tell this little story real quick for those who were not at the Screen Crush live show, which is probably most of you because there was like 100 people from Los Angeles there. During the Screen Crush live show, Ryan Airy asked me to dress up as James Gunn and do a James Gunn impersonation. And my impersonation of James Gunn was being like, I'm best friends with MT. And the whole crowd went nuts when I said that. Everyone was just like, like it was like I was like, yeah, and my friend Mick Jagger. Like everybody was just like, yeah, MT. And it was so good. I'm so glad that you have lore.
Oh my. That is amazing. Like all those people that cheered, thank you so much. You guys are so nice.
It was cute as hell. MT fucking rules. I'm so glad that everyone agrees with me. He's the best.
Oh, that's so nice. Like I wish I was there for that.
Dude, I wish you were there for that too.
They came to Boston and Ryan invited me, but like I just couldn't go that day. Like somebody just came up and I was like, that sucks. But like I wanted to meet Ryan so badly. Fun. Like Ryan and like the whole team, like the Screen Crush team seems like so much fun. Like great people.
They are the nicest people. They are all so kind. They are so good at what they do. They are hilarious. Every single person, no joke. Shout out to Sri, who the second I got there, she hugged me like we had been best friends our whole lives. And it made me feel so special. I love Colton because I think it's so fucking funny when he picks he's like starts fake beef with all of us on Twitter. That genuinely makes me feel a sense of community. Right. And I love Ryan Airy because Ryan is so good at what he does. He's such a talented person and he's always trying to lift up other creators like alongside him. And I think that is such an admirable quality to have. And before I forget, the dudes from The Real Rejects, fucking loved those guys. We hung out. I also feel like I've known them for a lifetime now. We just immediately hit it off. The nicest people. So thank you to everyone I just mentioned. I had a great time at the live show and I hope we do another one soon because I want more people to come. It was fun.
Hey, I'm glad you had that experience. It seems so cool.
It was great. We had so much fun. We seriously had the best time. I got to meet so many Palaxy fans, and I was just like, I love you guys too. You don't understand. Like, I'm also grateful for you.
There was a baby Yoda that called her mid, though.
Oh, yeah. Wait, a robot what? Baby Yoda told me that my performance was mid.
Yeah, this guy had a like very realistic. It could be on the Mandalorian.
It was so realistic looking.
And Whitney was like, "Hi, Grogu. How'd we do?" And Baby Yoda was like,
he went like this. He called me mid. I was like, oh no.
Wow.
I didn't know Baby Yoda thought I was mid.
You're the mid-DeLorean, I guess. I'm just saying that's a terrible joke.
Mid-DeLorean, baby. That's how I roll.
It's so dope that like, the Screen Crush was able to like get all those people together and like entertain people. Because that's what we do. Like that's the best part of like doing stuff like that. It's just like interacting with the fans and like getting excited about nerd stuff together. I think that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
And you guys all make our jobs possible. So like we're always excited to like have you guys show up for stuff because it really means a lot. And also it's really fun. You guys should do it's so fun. Please come to the next live show whenever that may be. I think Palaxy needs to go on tour, baby. Palaxy on tour. Let's go.
Yeah, we got a ways to go before that happens.
We do. We have a ways to go. I don't think that we can afford a PJ.
Hopefully those Guns glazing shirts will sell really well.
Yes, Guns glazing.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But before we sign off, speaking of t-shirts again, remember guardiansofthepalaxy.store. Anything you buy for the rest of the month of January is going to go to the Los Angeles fire. So yeah.
Well, this was great, guys. Thanks for chatting with me about Creature Commandos. Like this has been great.
I love
Hopefully we get a season 2.
Yeah, I want a season 2. You have to ask your friend James Gunn for that. You have to.
I'll call him up right now.
Just send him a quick text.
Where's season 2?
Timothy, waiting.
Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are amazing. Feel free to like if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You guys later. Bye.
Mwah.